Some of these defendants even use their faith communities to prey upon the victims, and others had to look no further than their own families.
We warmly welcome you to another edition
of Apostate Weekly, and I'm your host, James.
And I'm Rion.
And let's roll the regular intro. All right, welcome back, everybody, to another edition of Apostate Weekly. How you doing today, Rion?
I am doing great. The tea is spicy this morning.
Spicy tea,
so
huh?
spicy. I'm gonna have orange juice instead of. Well, I have coffee and orange juice. That's how spicy it is. I need all the drinks to chill.
And what exactly did you spike your tea with this morning?
I don't know if I'm allowed to say that here, James. Don't know if I'm allowed to say that.
Well, you can say anything you want. I don't care.
That's true. We're not making any money from this anyway, right?
No, we're not. You can't demonetize a non-monetized channel.
Nope, not going to happen. Well, I have 3 stories that I thought were really interesting. And you've got some really interesting stuff happening too. Well,
Yes.
And most of these stories are things that we've talked about before, actually. So it's like ongoing.
Yes, absolutely. And I think I'm going to go ahead and start off today, if that's okay with you.
All right.
Because
Behind you.
on Friday, when we did our special report, I gave a teaser for Japan and what they're doing. So let me share my screen with you. And hey, good morning, Mom. Yeah, I know. My mom spikes her stuff with alcohol in the morning. The lush.
You lush. I love it. Elderberry. That's good for your immune system. I do know that much.
All right, let's get this bigger so everybody can see it. So we've reported before about the lawyers in Japan that are ex-Jehovah's Witnesses and how they're trying to get laws and legislation changed in Japan for current Jehovah's Witnesses. And this one is a big deal because as far as I know, there are no studies that have been conducted regarding blood transfusions and the Jehovah's Witnesses and the effects that has, and also the effects that doctors have with having to deal with patients like that, and the sheer numbers of having it. We don't really have that information. I think this is a huge first step to getting the awareness at the very least out, but more than that, getting the legislation changed starting in one country, and hopefully other countries will pick up on that.
Right. I don't know if you saw, this kind of ties into like what you're talking about, and I don't want to go too deep into it because it's such a touchy it is a touchy situation. But Serena Williams announced her pregnancy, and I know that she had a troubling first pregnancy. And as a Black woman, I just fear for her, understanding that the maternal death rate in this country, especially for all people of color, is extremely high. And add into that, she's had a difficult pregnancy her first go round. Now add into the fact that if something were to happen, like hemorrhage or whatever, it's just dangerous, and it makes me feel it just makes me feel sad.
Or like and I feel like I've been beating this horse a lot lately, but it still relates to this. Like when I was born, the doctor said, hey, you need your son needs a blood transfusion, otherwise he's not going to make it. And I'm lucky I survived not getting one. But at the
Right.
same time, I mean, I know my parents are watching right now. I know I can only imagine how they would feel right now, especially after waking up from the religion and leaving it. Had I not survived that, it would have been terrible on them.
Oh gosh. Yeah. Could you imagine them waking up? You had not survived, and them realizing, like, oh my God, like what did we do? What did
Yeah.
we do to our son? Yeah, that's it's sad, and it's a reality for many people. And I do worry. I hope everything goes without a hitch for Serena, and I hope that laws continue to get passed that will put people in a better position to survive. You know, yeah, I
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We I'd be devastated too, even though I had no idea about it, but
Well, I mean, if you had found out about it, but I mean,
right, yeah. Yeah. If I'd have met Barbara, I probably would have talked to her, and yeah, that would have been, yeah,
I mean,
a different
I could,
life.
I could not imagine what they would have gone through had I not made it. And
Mm,
it's just, and all over a religion that demands your unquestioning obedience and loyalty and doesn't give anything in return.
absolutely. Nothing in return. You're right. Empty. If anything, you have to give.
Yeah.
There's no receiving, there's only giving. So
Hmm.
anywho, do you want to move on to the next story? Do you have anything else about that?
No, that was all I had. Yeah, go ahead and
That
move
was
on
it.
to the next story.
Okay, so I mean, in no particular order, but this one really upset me. This is back from January. Yes, this is back from January. And a woman named Diane Lim, she's from Queensland, Australia. Don't mind me. I'm just searching for I have so many pages open. Which one is the right page? There we go. Okay, here we go. This is it. Okay, so this is Diane Lynn, and she's the woman from Queensland, Australia, who was abused by a member of the Jehovah's Witnesses. Let me just check I'm going to make that a little bit bigger. Sorry, y'all. Is that any better?
A little bit better. Yeah. Can you make it any bigger for the
Oh,
blind ones?
hello.
Whoa, whoa.
Hey, ho, ho, watch yourself.
Hello,
Okay.
Diane.
Hi there. Nice to meet you. We appreciate you standing up for yourself, and we are sorry for everything that you had to go through. So yeah, she was abused by a member of the Jehovah's Witnesses, and we know, like, everything that happened with the ARC, the Australia Royal Commission, that there's a redress scheme that the Jehovah's Witnesses had to join, and this was basically to help support people who've been abused so they can get money, counseling, everything that you need after you've been harmed by somebody that you trust. But here's the thing, there's not been anything. So this is back in 2022 that this was like put into like policy, that they had to pay out to people who they've harmed, and they've not done anything. They've not acknowledged, they've not apologized, they've not sent the money that she's owed to. um Nothing, nothing. And I think there's over like 10,000 payments supposedly that have to go out yet. I have no idea if anybody's been paid, but there's millions of dollars at stake here, millions of dollars. And the Jehovah's Witnesses have not, the organization has not acknowledged that this poor woman and, thousands of others deserve support for what they went through, everything that they sacrificed for this religion, and they end up with, being abused and harmed and no support for it. So I just was, it's very
for
sad to hear.
for a religion with the money they've got, it's sad that they can't just offer that simple gesture of, here, we'll pay you out, we're sorry, and move on. And they're not even doing that. I mean, it'd be such a simple, loving gesture.
I mean, they've already lost.
Yeah. Exactly.
So the government, you as a Jehovah's Witnesses are supposed to follow the government. Paul says that the government was put in positions of power because God put them there. I mean, do I agree? No, but that's what you believe because it's in your Bible.
Except where it conflicts with their beliefs,
And then
and
they're persecuted.
and that's their loophole for anything. And like you said, persecution. So
Put my hands up. It's me you're hurting.
oh, I got to pay taxes now.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
I won't get my religious status now.
I have to report abuse when
What?
abuse happens. What? Why do you do these things to me?
I mean, it's like them taking a
Sorry.
knife, stabbing themselves, and saying, "Why are you stabbing me? Why are you stabbing me? You're
Right.
killing me. You're killing me."
Yeah, I'm the victim here. Exactly.
victim.
It's devastating to know that this many people have been abused. I mean, we're talking about, I think, 2,100 applications, 2,100 people since 2017. We're talking about $920 million, bro. Like this, like, damn. Like this could really F them up. Do you think maybe that's why they're going so hard to get any money they can from these different governments, like in Norway? But I feel like they'd be losing so much fighting. But I guess maybe there's more to gain in fighting.
Well,
I
correct
don't
me if I'm
know.
wrong, but weren't they? I don't know where to find the proof or anything, but don't they channel their money to other countries as well for like when they see these things happening? So they'll start directing their money elsewhere and then claim being broke or not having a whole lot, and so they don't have to pay these payments out. Because 920 million in Australia for the amount of witnesses they have there would bankrupt them and put them out of business.
And I wonder if that's like part of what's holding them back is because they know that this is going to be devastating to their organization. I mean, I don't care. That's not my problem. That's not my fault.
No,
like, this would never have happened had you handled things properly.
No, not at all. But they don't like to handle things properly, though, do they?
No, that's not really in their. That's not in their wheelhouse to act properly and treat people with respect, unfortunately. So there's that. Do you want to move into the next one? Do you have something you want to bring up?
Yes. I was going to talk about, let's see here. I'm trying to pull it up right now.
Did I say hi, Jay? Good morning.
You did.
Did I? Okay.
You did it with the little. You did it with like the little hearty hand while you were talking.
Oh, okay. I talk so much. Like some things I'm doing like so automatically. I'm like, wait, did I do it?
Let's see here. So, do you follow? Oh boy, excuse me. I'm trying to sneeze. Oh.
That's you.
I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Martin Hoff.
I don't know.
On Twitter.
I might have to follow him.
Let's see here. I'll share the screen here with it. Can you see it okay?
It's a little small. If you can make it bigger. There, that's better. Oh, that's perfect.
Oh, which one? That one or the up one?
A little bigger.
Okay.
There you go. That's perfect.
Okay. So, do you know him? Have you seen him?
No, I'll have to follow them.
Okay, so the reason why I played that video clip at the very beginning of the show this morning is because of him. He is ex-JW in Pennsylvania. And his face was plastered all over the York Sunday News.
Oh dear.
Because of the sex abuse scandals going on.
I am following them.
Okay. So he's been working with the Attorney General and all that on his own, I think it's his child's case, because he was an elder in the congregation before. And so he obviously is in the newspaper. Now, if you we go to, let's see here if I can. I'm trying to find. Okay. Right here. Let's see. I'm sure you don't see this other page I just brought up, do you?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Pop-ups. Hate pop-ups. Hang on. I know.
That's good. There was something on his local news station. I'll have to make sure I check
So
that
let
out,
me
though.
go back and stop that one. I'm going to share another screen with you because this was just yesterday, actually, that this happened.
The acting attorney
And
general of Pennsylvania announced child
they
sexual abuse
are
charges
doing,
against the 5
apparently they're doing
Pennsylvania
a
men,
two-part
2 in Lancaster
series
County,
on this.
all members
And
of
this is
Jehovah's Witnesses.
the
43's
video
Harry Lee
for it.
reports on the
Awesome.
repercussions for the
And
organization.
this is the local news station
Disturbing
there.
and
And this is
sad.
where I got
Those are
that
the
clip
words Acting
from the
Attorney
beginning
General
of the
Michelle
show at.
Henry used to describe
And
alleged
he's
child
on the
sexual
news here with
abuse
his
committed
story.
by 5
And
Pennsylvania
it
men.
aired
All are members of the Jehovah's
last
Witness
night,
religion.
and I
Some
think
of
there's
these
supposed to be
defendants
something
even
airing tonight
use their
on
faith
Fox
communities to
43
prey upon the
in
victims.
Harrisburg.
2 of the men charged were members of this
So
Jehovah's Witness congregation in Lancaster.
I want everybody to keep
44-year-old
an eye
Norman
out for that
Aviles
because this is all
Garriga is
part
alleged to have
of
molested at
that
least 3 young
investigation
children
going
between
on
the ages of 5
into
and
the
10 in
child
the
sex
late
abuse in all the
1990s.
congregations in
He was an
Pennsylvania.
elder in the
And
Jehovah's Witness congregation,
I'm just kind
which
of
allowed
trying to
him
keep the
build a
updates coming
rapport
as I'm getting them.
with members.
And this is just the
42-year-old
next update
Abimel
here.
Valentin Matos is
So
alleged to have assaulted a
keep
15-year-old
our eyes
girl
on this,
around
and I'm hoping
2011.
that
The congregation was
this
aware
really
of
pushes
his romantic
through
interest in
and
the
they just
girl, noting
blow
that they
the
would
lid off of this
approve
thing
of it if
and
certain
start
conditions were met,
prosecuting people.
including the presence of a
I
chaperone.
hope so too. I can hear
commitment
you and
to
her
an
at the same time. I don't
Oh,
know.
can you?
Jehovah's Witnesses have an
I'm
internal
sorry,
disciplinary
I'm
I
not
mean, I
system
could
hearing
hear
you.
everything you were saying, but
abuse. It's
just so you
unclear
know.
if the investigator.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm glad that this is getting picked up by big news media. That's really good.
So, yeah. I mean, just the fact that, we've seen a lot happen already with this story. And we're still continuing to see things happening. So it's moving forward. It's making progress, and that's good. We're really hoping for the snowball effect to just really come rolling through Pennsylvania and then hopefully through other states in this country as well. And let's just take this thing all the way to the top. Now, there was a question that was asked about if the Attorney General was trying to take this all the way up to the top level at Watchtower headquarters.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have an answer on that yet because this is an ongoing investigation.
Yeah.
And we can't give you any more details than what we've just told you already. So hopefully
this
that's
could be
what
years
they
in
are
the making.
doing.
I hope so too. But it could take a long time before they get this figured out and then to move on. But this is a great first step. I just hope it doesn't fizzle out. And I think us just keeping the pressure is probably one of the better ways that we can make sure the issue keeps getting looked into.
I think one of the biggest things that needs to happen for this to really blow up exponentially is lawyers need to get their hands on the database at headquarters.
If they would only release the information.
Yes, that they've been subpoenaed for before and fined for before.
If only they'd follow the law.
See,
and that's
right?
And that's again one of those things, like, people think the J-dubs are so benign. Again, the organization is so benign, but this is the kind of idiocracy that they pull, getting judgments ruled against them, and then not even, you got to hold their hand to make them do anything. They refuse. They throw a tantrum and refuse to change anything, just like Toni Morris.
Yeah,
typical.
Exactly. They're not benign, they're asinine.
Boop. Exactly. They're nefarious, unfortunately.
So what do you have for us next? Yeah.
Okay. So this one is about a judge who had to recuse himself from a court case because it has been shown that this judge, Honorable Greg Gerard Guidry, donated tens of thousands of dollars to the archdiocese And not only that, he would rule in favor of the church in cases involving nearly 500 clergy sex abuse victims.
Ooh.
Right? And this dude said that he didn't need to recuse himself. He didn't need to remove himself from this case. And how can you say that you're not partial? How can you say that you're not partial? Excuse me. How can you say you're not partial when you are supporting the Catholic Church monetarily? Like, you're giving them donations, you're ruling in favor of them. Like, obviously this guy is doing dirty deeds behind the scenes, and he had the Catholic Church in his pocket, and the Catholic Church had a judge in their pocket. How can this be an honorable judge? How does he still have a job? I'm sorry. I just don't get it. I really don't understand how this person is allowed to continue to be a judge when he's not impartial.
And I don't see how that could be either. It's ridiculous. You're supposed to be as impartial as you possibly can be. I mean, we all have our biases, we all have our partialities, but especially in that position, you need to set those aside as much as possible and take in the facts from both sides of a case and assess it from that. And if you can't do that, get the hell out.
Right. Please see yourself out. We would appreciate that. Yeah, there's like so much money involved here. He upheld a $400,000 sanction against Richard Trahan, a veteran attorney for clergy abuse victims. So not only is this guy helping the Catholic Church, but he's actually like trying to harm the attorneys and that are helping the people who've been abused, the victims. What?
Jeez.
I know. I really don't know what else to say about this other than dirty. Dirty,
Yeah.
dirty, dirty, dirty law, dirty church. Disgusting, dirty, no morals, no ethics. Bankrupt mentally, spiritually, emotionally. You bankrupt morally. You have. There you go. That's my thoughts and opinions on the subject.
Please tell us what you really feel.
Right. Tell me what you really think. And I do think it's worth looking into this SNAP group. I forget. It's something against sexually. I forget.
Survivors Network of those abused by priests.
Thank you. Yes. So I think the SNAP network is pretty cool, and I'm interested in looking into it. So I will try to do that and just see what they're about. But yeah. Okay. So that's that. I'm done with that one. Do you have something next?
No, that was all I had for today.
Okay, I have one more because this is pretty big and super sad. So I don't know if you heard, but in Kenya, and this is recent too, there is over 300 people missing.
Brian, can I stop you real quick?
Yes.
I reported on this last Wednesday. The
Oh,
Kenya
you
Cult,
did?
where they starved to death.
Oh shoot. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
there you go. The
That's what
Kenya
you get
Cult-
for not showing up. You missed things.
Oh, okay. So yeah.
Yeah, we did this story just last Wednesday. Yeah.
This really, I mean, so sad. Honestly, just so sad to hear of all these. It just reminds me of Jim Jones all over again.
Absolutely.
Hundreds of people missing. So there's probably 300 plus people that have died, starved themselves
I know.
to death. Like that's like, what a way to go. That's long, painful.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
And for what? And for what?
And you're
Nothing.
talking people with children. They had some of their children starved to death as part of it. I mean,
come on.
Just so
wow.
sad.
It really is. And I think that's why educating people about the harms of cults and knowing what to look for really is helpful. And maybe most people don't understand why it's so helpful because they think, I wouldn't fall for a cult. Like, ugh, I'm not stupid. I won't fall for a cult, but it doesn't work like that. They're very charismatic. They know how to lure you in. You know, this is
Yes.
the stuff that they are trained. They're trained on telling you what you want to hear. And if you're a good person who wants to do good things in this world, being told that you have an opportunity to live on paradise on earth, I mean, that just, people fall for it hook, line, and sinker. But if we can give people a better education about some of these sneaky, I don't know, propositions that you get, maybe they would be able to stay away and recognize and not get involved before it's too late.
Yeah. In the discussion of this last week, but with Crystal was on with me, we brought up the question, well, do you think that the Jehovah's Witnesses would do something like this? And both of us felt like, no, I don't think they would, because of how their stance is on suicide and how it's a selfish act and we shouldn't do it, because then you won't get into the new system, if you commit suicide and all that. So that, I think, is at least a good thing, that we don't think that the witnesses will do that to their members.
Yeah.
But they control them in other ways, which is just as devastating in a lot of sense.
Yeah, I wonder that myself. I don't think that will happen. I think they're too large of a group, and I don't think that would necessarily be the course that they would follow.
Yeah,
but
it's generally
in so many
cults of
other ways. Go ahead.
It's generally cults of 1,000 people or less that like to kill all their members off.
Yeah, so we're safe.
Yeah, we're safe. Of course, then some idiot's going to try to go one up me on that. Please don't do that. Please don't.
Please do not. Please do not. I mean, you do never know. And with the Jehovah's Witness organization, they're hard to get a read on, but
yeah,
I just think they're too selfish for like that. So thank goodness that they wouldn't do that.
No, exactly.
They need all their members. They need all their money, and they're not going to have money if people are gone. So
exactly. Unless the leaders all off themselves somehow because they're running from the law or whatever, and they don't care anymore.
Well, Tony, you let us know. We'll be keeping an eye out for you. I'm sure there's support for you. I'm sure you have a great support network, Tony. Wouldn't it be funny if he's watching this?
That'd be great. If he is, hi, Tony.
Hi, Tony.
Email me at apostateweekly@gmail.com. I'd love to talk to you.
Aunt Tony.
Aunt Tony.
We love you, Aunt Tony.
Uncle
now we
Morris.
just need you to spill the beans.
Yes.
Tony, we can be friends if you spill the beans.
Let's roll that beautiful bean footage.
You'd be like, no, well, Armageddon hot dogs. There you go. That's Tony's thoughts.
Well, hey, barbecue beans go great with hot dogs.
Feeling kind of hungry now. It's time for breakfast.
Anyways, that's all I got for today.
Yeah, I think that. Is there anything else? I feel like that is everything that I wanted to. Oh, I thank you to everybody who came to technically my first live call-in show. It was actually my second, but it was the first time it went right. So thank you to all my friends.
Yeah, that finally went right. That was good that it went right too. So
yes.
And if you don't know, it's on the Skeptic Haven YouTube channel. Sunday nights at 8:00, they do a call-in show now. And every week they have a different host or couple host. And Rion was a host this last week and with Oz. And they talked about cults, and a couple of real crazy XJWs called in and to the show as well. So gotta kind of watch out for them people. But otherwise,
those weirdos.
Yeah.
Those weirdos, JWs building a community. What is wrong with them?
I know, right?
Yeah, thank you, though. I appreciate all the support, and it was great seeing everybody there and having you call in. Wally called in, there was another JW I thought that called in too, and I just can't even think right now, but I really appreciated it. And Oz did too. I had a great time. And I think the next show that I'm going to be on, it might be with Holy Kool-Aid, his channel.
Oh, really?
Here on YouTube. That's who Wes said maybe would be interested in doing it with me. And I think the topic would be like fear of hell, Satan and demons, like that fear and indoctrination, because that's kind of what keeps people in the system, because they're so afraid of that, of hell.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So hopefully maybe we can kind of talk people out of that nonsense.
Yeah,
We
that
shall
would be
see.
good.
Mhm.
Help, and also help them recognize the signs of cults so they can either get out of one or avoid getting
Yes.
into one, period.
Right.
So,
Because again, if you have this thought in your head, like, oh, I'd never get involved with a cult. I'm too smart for that. And I'm sure there's many people who thought the same thing, then found out that they were in one. I mean, there's been many people who said, oh, I'll never get sick. I'll never catch that. I'll never do this. Well, if you don't protect yourself, you certainly can. You certainly can find yourself in a predicament where you're either involved with the cult, you're sick because you were not protecting yourself out there in the world, having unprotected sex, whatever. It can happen if you're
and
not mindful.
if you remember, have you read Stephen Hassan's book, Combating Cult Mind Control?
Wait, which one? I don't think
Combating
so. No,
Cult Mind Control
Mm-mm.
by Stephen Hassan. So, of
Oh
course,
yeah, no, I need to get that.
so you know the bite model and all that. Well,
Right.
in his book, though, when he talks about people who get duped into joining cults, he doesn't say that it's these dumb people out there. It's usually the smart
Right.
ones that get duped into it because they get this like special knowledge and, you know, insider
They think they're
whatever
special.
that they wouldn't have had otherwise, and that gets them in.
Right. And everybody wants to feel special.
Yes.
Right. So if you've got people love bombing you and making you feel like you're worthy or whatnot, I mean, yeah, that's a good feeling. They know all the tricks. It's in the playbook. That's why we need to be aware of them and discuss them, because it could be an MLM. It doesn't have to be a religion. It can be any kind of, like, when I got to talk to Yanya Lalich, the she's like a professor. I think she even has her PhD. Like, she's brilliant, but she's done stuff on enclosed groups, and it's not just religious groups. She was in a political enclosed group. Like, who would have ever thought? I never would have thought, but now I know that it's possible because I got to talk to somebody who's educated on the subject. So there's many things that we can be on the lookout for if we know what to look out for.
Exactly.
So there you have it.
And that's just it, knowing what to look out for and avoiding it. And it could even start as an innocuous group and turn into that cult. You just got to know the signs and
Right.
recognize the signs. And when you see that first red flag, get out.
I mean, XJWs are known for kind of getting in our own little groups, at times, and have just these opinions and judgments because it's just kind of what we've done the entirety of our life. So it's easy just to migrate to another group and kind of take on their personality and, and maybe dislike a certain person or dislike a certain group because the rest of your friends do. And I'm not saying that we're dumb. I'm just saying that once you've had that cult mentality, I think that there might be like this innate nature of you to look for this other group because you might not feel like you identify with anybody. You grew up, all these people are the same. Anywhere I go, I can travel anywhere and everybody's going to love me and everything's just the same. And there's just none of the sort, but you don't know that. You think that's the truth. And then you come out, you're kind of alone and you're looking for friends and you're looking for people who kind of think like you do. So yeah, we fall into that hook, line, and sinker.
And then
And I'm
you
not mentioning
realize
any
that
names.
and then you realize that everybody actually hates you.
Damn it.
Son of a
Damn
bitch.
it, guy. Son
Maybe
of a
it
bitch.
is me. Maybe I'm the common denominator in this math equation.
Right. But you know what? That's one of the things that I think we have difficulty asking ourselves. Am I like, how am I feeding into this? Am I part of the problem? Can I be part of the solution? And that's my attempt. This is our attempt. I'm sure you and I, all of you in the audience, this is our attempt at like doing better, doing the right thing, educating people, using our stories to show other people that they aren't alone and build a sense of community, and hopefully not being so hard-assed about it that we're making critical judgments against people that we really shouldn't be. But
Exactly. And also using our platforms to spread the message and get it out to more people,
right.
as many people as we can, really.
Yeah,
So,
right. I try to be responsible with the platform that I have. I mean, I'm not perfect. Well, duh, that goes without saying. I don't even need to say that. I do the
well,
best.
I'm out of this thing.
You're not Jesus. If you're not on level Jesus, Jonathan, you're too funny. Yeah, and I try not to whine too much, but I'm thankful for all the good people who are in our community. I see you guys doing the
Absolutely.
work. You're doing your best. We're all trying to make changes and grow and educate, and that's bomb. I'm thankful.
Well, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. That was our weekly rant,
Deal.
everybody. Thank you for joining us again for another episode of Apostate Weekly. Be sure to catch Rion on all her socials and YouTubes, and catch me on my socials and YouTubes. If you have anything you want to send my way, email me at apostateweekly@gmail.com, and we will see y'all next week.
Yes, have a good one.
Bye.
Bye. Apostate your way.